Okay, one of my viewers asked me if I would do a short video as he's having problems with the standard German frog brick mould, which I haven't got a problem with doing that at all for you. So this is my routine for, well, it's my routine for doing all moulds actually. This is the mould in question, which is clean, everything else. Now, we need a release agent for it, so we need some water, and also we need some dishwasher rinse agent. I'm using the Fairy. The simple reason is that when I went into my corner shop, when I ran out, that's all they had. I normally get it from the pound shop, the cheap stuff. It all works exactly the same, so don't go and buy Finish. It's exactly the same as all the other stuff. Right, a good squirtful into a little bowl there. Now you're asking yourself, why do you need it? Well, the Finish, the release agent, will actually break the water tension of the plaster that you pour in, which will also help release the bubbles from the surface of the mould, which makes life just a little bit easier for you. And another thing, when you put in the mould in, don't just throw it in, try and get it in at a sort of like an angle, slide it in, because what happens is you'll actually trap air, which I've done a couple there, which they're easy tapped out, but if you don't notice them, that then creates an air pocket. So we'll just put that in underneath there for a second and let that have a soak, and we'll move on to mixing. Now I'm going to use 9 mils of water, and I'm going to use a 2:1 ratio, so that will be 18 grams of powder. I'm using the Hercolite 2. I will put a link in the description box. Sorry, it's out of shot. I will put a link in the description box, so that if you want some of this, you can go and get it. You can get it off eBay, reasonably cheap. It's a very good casting powder. It's an all-rounder. You can use it on virtually everything, right down to the smaller items. Oh. Right. I know I said 18 grams, but as I'm going to put some colour into it, I'm going to go for 20 grams. Because the paint just gives it a little bit more liquid. And actually I'm 21.6 there, but I can live with that. Right, colours. I colour each mould every time a different colour. I picked myself, I've got 4 colours there, virtually all in the same tones, but one's lighter, darker, and they just give a tonal variation when you actually, if you're using the bricks for rubble piles and things like that. So we'll just go for that one, the first one. And you can vary the amount in. I'm going to put 10 drops. I'm just going to put 10 drops in there. That was 11. Give that a mix. Then the next thing you need to do is put your casting powder in. Now, don't just dump it in. I'll do it from that side so you can see. Just sprinkle it over the top of the water, because it all needs to be, the water needs to get into all of it, because if you get any dry powder in there, it creates air balls, and we don't need air balls. That's the one thing we're trying to get rid of. And there we go. And that will, if I pick it up, can we see that? There it is, just slowly creeping up. can give it a tap if you want. But once all that powder's in the water like that, then mix it up. Nice and gently, don't go too mad, because you will actually stir air bubbles back into it again. Anything it's to do with air bubbles. Right. Next thing we do, we get the mould out. You don't want to take all the water off it. You just want to give it a tap. You can see it's still quite wet in there, because that will help the air bubbles escape as you're pouring. Right, I'm going to do this left-handed. I'm probably going to make a right mess of this, and then we just pour. Sorry, I've gone quiet here, concentrating. Very difficult with the left, doing it left-handed when you're a right-handed person. There we go. Give the pot a little wash up. Now, just leave it to vibrate now for a little while. Put that to one side. Normally what I do, I just run around the edge. This just gets rid of any excess water. And if you're like me, I'm impatient. I like to give it a helping hand. Now, a little tip was given to me by one of my viewers. He hasn't got a vibrating table, and he actually uses his compressor, which I think is a fantastic idea. A cheap option if you haven't got a vibrating table. He just switches his compressor on and does it on top of the compressor. So there's a nice little tip. So we're going to leave that now. I'm going to switch that off. I'm going to put you on pause, and we'll come back to it in a few minutes, and we'll do the next stage. Okay, it's been a good 10 minutes actually, and it's very sort of damp today, so it's taken quite a while to dry. But just get yourself a flat scraper and just go straight over the back. As you can see, there's still quite a lot of water on the top there. And that's it. That's all you need to do. Leave that to dry and then turn them out. I will come back to you again when it's dried, and we'll turn them out and have a look, see what they look like. Right, okay, it's been quite a while now, and we'll take this off that plate, and I shall get my JM box. And for those who don't know, this is for my good friend John Moore, which I said I'm going to send him some parts. Now, I think we've just about achieved no air bubbles, but we'll soon find out. Can we see them? Is the camera going to focus? They look pretty okay to me. Yeah. That's too much effort. Right. It's a lot easier just to pull them out with your fingers. There is a couple there with the tiniest little air bubble on the corner, but I think a lot of that to do with is, I think there's some dirt in the corner of the moulds. Yeah, just like, I don't know if you can see that. Right up in the far corner there's a little tiny black dot. Yeah. So a little bit is out and we'll have a quick look. Right, let's have a look if the camera's going to focus. On camera. I think they're all okay. There's no problems with them. They're very well. If there's any little tiny air balls, I don't think it's really going to hurt. Not if you're going to be using them in piles of hardcore for debris and things like that. But they're okay. There's nothing wrong with them. Now I'll just keep casting now. The next one I'll do a different colour. Might even go down to the dark. And just keep mixing the colours all the way along. So after about 10 castings, you get a nice mixture. Excuse me. And do the same sand treatment. Put them into sand with a little bit of pigment and give them a good run around, and you'll be surprised what they turn out like. There is a I did do a review on this actual mould, and I did actually do some with the pigment on them. So that's it. That's how I do the German style prog bricks. So thank you very much for joining me, and I hope it's been useful to my viewer, and we'll see you on the next one.